Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box with the Technical Trader at thetechtrader.com. It's Thursday night, the 19th of November, and these are the charts of the day. Well, a really interesting day on Wall Street. We had a nice follow through. We got up to some very, very key resistance. I noted at that point the market was due for some correction or retrace. We got one, and at the end of the day, we closed kind of narrowly mixed. It didn't affect a lot of stocks we looked at and traded today. Let's take a look at a few. Now, I'm only giving you AVXL as a chart of the day because it's had a nice bounce off the low. I'm not a proponent of the stock. I'm worried about it. I actually think that it could be suspect. I'm hearing a lot of cross currents on it. I got to tell you that when a stock plunges from 15 to 3.5 that quickly, and then bounces and rolls over and gets down to 3 or thereabout, it's pretty ugly. Yes, it had a big bounce, going from the recent low of 316 to today's high of 696, more than doubling. But there's resistance here, and I want to point that out. Anybody who's in the stock wants to be in it, pay close attention. Today's high, 696. The 50-day moving average, 724. Those two levels between 7 and 7.25 are going to be tough to get to. If it gets through that, 8, 9.25, and even as high as 10 or 11 could be had. But right now, the Fibonacci retracement is in that 0.382 level, almost 50%. And I'd be careful. We could get a pullback retrace down near 5.6 range, 5.5. We'll see. But that's what it looks like now. It's the long-term chart, which I loved, is broken dramatically on heavy volume, and the other reason I'm mentioning is because the volume on the upside was huge recently, and that's a good sign. But I need some follow through. This is a very big lateral resistance level that needs to be taken out. CTRP, what a nice day for that one today, gapping and running to new all-time highs and up almost 14.78. That's a 15.5% gain. And nice volume of 12 million. It's the second biggest volume we've seen in about 7 or 8 months. Now, looking at the long-term chart, you'll see that this stock's been in a very nice rising channel. It actually looks like there's a possibility we could see as much as 130 short-term, and on an intermediate basis as high as 160, but that remains to be seen. In any case, today was a significant day technically. The OBVs are new highs for the year, and the shorts, almost 3 days to cover, could fuel the fire a little bit higher before this one's petering out. CXRX, another biotech stock that got crushed from 90 all the way down to under 20 in a very fast period of time, always makes me nervous. You see this spike up to resistance and then the pullback in a nice neat orderly wedge and very, very low volume there. Well, that broke out with a pop and then a 2-day wedge and another pop. I can see they follow through. They gets us to 41.5 and maybe gets up to 45.5. But this stock needs to be watched carefully. If this is wave 1 and 2, then 3 may be well underway. We could get a wave 4 before it has any further upside. A nice V bottom with a right-handed extended V. I like the pattern. Volume could be a little better, but it's something we're going to watch. VGAZ. Well, even though I'm thinking this is a seasonal time for gas, the gas inventory levels apparently are fueling the fire for more upside. This stock jumped $1.31 or 11% today on 7.5 million. It looks to me like the recent consolidation, after the basic breakout of flag, it ran up again sharply. Over the last couple, 3 weeks, it's been consolidated, but today it broke back out. This could very well see 16, 17 zone short term. Eros, another one of those stocks that got whacked hard, and has shown some very strong volume on the upside. After a big drop, it took this one from 33 down to 7, even less than that. The stock has rebounded for 4 days in a row on heavy volume. Today jumped $1.30 or 15%. Now there is some resistance. My next target would be the top of this bar up about a 12.04, which happens to be where the 21-day moving average comes in at 12.12. So that's my next target. If we get to 12, we can see 14. But if this stock, and the retracement on the Fibonacci retracement here gets you to about 15, even on a 0.382 Fib retracement. So there's some more room for additional upside. Careful on this one though, it's very volatile. Mitek, here's a stock we haven't talked about in a year and a half. If you remember, some of you, we made a lot of money in 2010 and 11 on this big run up that took it from under $1 to over 13. It then got crushed on a lawsuit by USAA. It took many, many moons for this stock to go sideways over a long period of time to build a triple bottom. Now this declining topsline took 2 years to build, was taken out with a thrust recently. That's key for me. Lateral resistance across these tops here around the 4.25 range, as well as the declining topsline, was taken out with a big thrust. Take a look at this 5-day run. It's taken it from the retest of the gap at about 385 all the way up to today's high at 437. I think you're going to see a test of the 5.5 range as early as tomorrow, but if it pulls back and consolidates, that would be a nice setup for more upside. $7 is my target eventually. 13.4 days to cover, folks. Could be interesting. OLED with 9.5 days to cover is having a big run up too. Some kind of a deal with Samsung I'm hearing, but the pop, this breakaway above the moving average on this little wedge, it was followed by an explosive move from under 40 to 48 in the last 3 days. This looks like it's at resistance. It could pull back, but the momentum could carry this to mid-50s. That's my target, 55. Well, one of our swing trades, PACB, acting wonderfully, had an explosive move, and I love to see these coils, but you never know how long they're going to take. This one has gone from under 7 to over 10 in the last couple weeks. In particular, the last 3 sessions moving from a low of 770 to today's high 1030, and right at resistance. So we could get a pullback consolidation in here, but my ultimate target is 12, 12.5 or more, much more. Now, Prothena, what a nice reversal from 40 to 74. It's just in the last 5 weeks. Although what I'm looking at today is a major breakout across the July highs to new all-time highs. How many biotech stocks can you say are new all-time highs? Well, this one is, and it may, with 8.5 days to cover, it may see even mid to high 80s or low to mid 90s before this one has any major pullback. Very nice OBV as well. 8.5 days to cover. VRX, that brings us to VRX. As you know, it's got whacked from 265 down to 68. Today was the first big reversal bar day I've seen in a long time since this decline began. After 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 waves down and a falling wedge, it reversed. Now there's resistance right here at 86, 6.5. And beyond that, we're looking at 90. So the 86, 90 zone is where I think it may encounter problems. It gets to 90, 91, and we can see a stock back to low 100s. And VUZI, 2 days ago, noted the move up through the declining topsline. Well, that move has accelerated for now 4 days in a row, taking it from 475 to 630. Volume of the last couple of days is very heavy for this stock. It's thinly traded. I think this resistance zone is where it's headed, 7, 7.5. Beyond that, 8 and even 9.5 is doable. If you look at the long-term picture, this stock has a beautiful rising channel over the last couple of years. It could, with wave 1 and 2, get wave 3 that gets it up towards $9. That would be my intermediate target, short-term target, 7, 7.5. Weibo, I believe a Chinese player that has really reversed nicely after coming through the declining topside here and flagging. It broke out a month ago, ran up to resistance and backed off, but held, and today you're right back up again. It looks to me like it broke out today to resistance. You very well see 20, even 22, 2.5 short-term targets. Almost 5 days to cover short. Zendesk, a new swing trade, really had a nice follow-through day today. As you can see, popping another 83 cents or about 3.3%, but 8.25 days to cover. This looks like a stock that wants to test the double top from August, September, October of 2014, a year ago. 27.34 is a resistance and short-term target. I believe it's a stock that may be headed into the low 30s. And lastly, ZXI. Now, ZXI went across multiple tops here today with a breakout. 1.4 million traded up 4.4%. This looks like it wants to go towards what the next target looks like, and that's about 6.5. This is HB signing off for tonight. Have a good evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow in the trading room.